Hi folks, part 2 of the clay, the homemade clay. As you saw, it was pretty simple to make, really. You'll have to get used to it, keep trying. It's not that expensive to make, and you could always do something with it. However the clay comes out, you'll always make something out of it. But I didn't put any specific amounts or anything. You have to learn that yourself and how you want it for certain things. But the thing about this is simply doing it. The things I've made, as you saw yesterday, are very simple, basic things. These videos are not really meant for people that are whiz kids making jewellery and all that type of stuff. It's more aimed at people that want to have a go and just make something for themselves that they feel, hey, I flipping made this, it's flipping neat. And the things I made yesterday, again, weren't really fancy pendant stuff or anything. They're just little novelty things that you can easily knock up, and you can wear whatever you would wear them with. You're probably not going to go out somewhere very posh with them, but as an everyday adornment, they'll do, and they can be a bit of fun. So yeah, I made the clay yesterday. Like I said, it just on spec. You're not always sure exactly how it's going to come out. If you can experiment with amounts and then come up with the exact amount that you want, but just have a go. So I made the bits yesterday. They have dried overnight, fairly good. Another 2 or 3 days will really be spot on. But I'll just show you today how the things have turned out, because I've put little rings on them so that I can put them on a leather cord or something like that. You can put them on a chain, whatever you want. And I've doctored them up a little bit with my favourite acrylic paint, and the 2 items that are bone, I've painted tea bag on it, really. A little bit of water in the tea bag, let it soak a bit, and then squeeze it into a little container and paint it on. It just ages the bone a bit. Okay, so you've seen the picture of how they've come out, but this is the end product, really, for me. The only other thing I can do with these is give them a bit of spray varnish, just to protect them a little bit more and give them a little bit of a shine. But here's the first one. That was the little bone we made, or I made, and I twisted it. Twisted it. It's a tongue twister. Twisted it. Let's get past this one. I twisted it a bit, and there it's got the little link on. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you what it looks like on. That's what it looks like on a chain. For me, well, it's not a chain, it's a cord, but for me, you could leave them pure white as a bone, a pure white bone, but I like bone that's aged a little bit, so I've aged it. The second one is the little skull that I made. Now this wasn't meant to look like a skull, it's just a bit of fun. So here it is as it is now. It's hard. It reminds me of a skull and a little ghost, a little Halloween ghosty sort of thing, with all these bits at the bottom which are teeth. White, painted it white, again tea bagged it just to age the bone a little bit, but you'll see what that looks like on. The other thing was this, if you remember the medallion type of thing that I inscribed, well, I made cuts into it. This is how it's come out now, and this really could do with that spray of varnish or paint the varnish on, whatever, but painted the outsides, the back black, the inside sections are white, and in between these lines where I'd cut into the clay so it was deep, there's I don't know what it is really. It's like cord, but it's like really rustic cord, so it's not like that white string you buy. It's really rustic and fuzzy like that. So that's what this one looks like coming up. So that's that one. And the last one, which is for me is a good example of when you're making the clay and not worrying too much about how it comes out, because I like it to come out a little bit rough. When it dries, drying that a little bit rougher than just smooth, which is ideal for anybody that's just giving it a go. Like with the bones, with the skull and that, it gives it a little bit of character, that there's bits, it's not just a smooth skull. And this one here, if you remember when I put the little studs in, the effect that I wanted with this was silver studs on a disc of leather. And if you look, if you can see it close up, because it hasn't come out totally smooth, it gives that rustic leather look, and there's little cracks in it and all sorts of things, which when you put the paint in, it just all goes black anyway. But yeah, I wanted studs on a leather disc, which is what I got. And this is what this one looks like on here. So there you go, folks. That's the 1, 2, 4, 3, 4 items there. Pretty simple to make. Like I said, these are not spectacular, they're not perfect, doesn't look exactly like you've picked a little bone up. That could be fantastic. That could be even better, and it could be skull-like, and whatever you wanted to do with that. But it's how you want to make it. I've done it that way so that anyone looking at this that hasn't really done this before, or thought to herself, well, I can't flipping do anything, I can't save a couple of bob making myself something fun to wear. It's basic to show you that you can make things yourself. You don't have to do these. You can make little cat shapes, you can make bats, you can make ghosts, whatever is gothic. If you're not goth and you're into something else, you can make the shapes of whatever you follow. But if you want to, if you're that way inclined, you can do your initial. But it's fun, it's cheap, it's not harmful. The PVC glue is non-toxic. The acrylic paint is non-toxic. And obviously the corn flour, you put it in your food, it's non-toxic. So it's something you can dabble about with and have a bit of fun. So there you go, folks, that's the end of the simple clay and how to make one or two bits. Be as inventive as you like, make as spectacular things as you like, it's up to you. Those are knocked up in minutes, as you might say, but you got to take your time and do something really, really professional looking. Have a good one. So folks, have fun, get clay in,